I'm Callie Lewis. You're watching GeekBrief TV. This is part 2 of our story. When we talk about starting GeekBrief, we use the term laser focus. It fits because we were determined to make producing the show our full-time job. For the first time in our lives, pretty much, failure wasn't an option. We absolutely believed it would happen, but since we didn't know what we were doing exactly, we expected it to take some time. 3 weeks in, we were shut down by our hosting company for using too much bandwidth. Again, we were watching what Podshow, now Mevio, was doing, and we knew we wanted to work with them. They were the only company making it possible for podcasters to go pro. We were also extremely inspired by something called the Strategy Cast. The Strategy Cast is a long recording of Mevio founders Adam Curry and Ron Bloom. It was recorded in a hotel room, and for almost 3 hours, Adam and Ron laid out their vision for the business of podcasting. A big part of that vision was all about the indie possibilities provided by the medium. We used to fall asleep every night listening to the Strategy Cast recording. When our hosting company notified us we were going to be shut down, we did 2 things. One we talked about publicly, and the other we haven't. We bought a bunch of extra bandwidth so we didn't have to go down, but we knew getting shut down would make a better story and hopefully help us get Adam and Ron's attention. We uploaded a show that pushed us over the bandwidth limit, and then we emailed everyone we could find who was associated with then Podshow, now Mevio. We emailed Adam Curry, Ron Bloom, Don and Drew, Madge Weinstein, Brian Longest, and I think a few others. Mevio flew us out to San Francisco. We told them we wanted to work with them and wanted them to make it possible for us to quit our job at Extra Space to do GeekBrief full-time. Negotiations were absolutely the most stressful thing we've ever experienced, but we worked out a deal, and May 23rd, 5 months to the date that we started, thanks to Mevio, we announced that we were going pro. At the time, we lived in Highland Park, Illinois, and produced the show in our apartment above the store where we worked. Quitting the day job meant we also had to move. We chose to come home to Dallas because it's an inexpensive place to live, and we knew how to get around town. The last week at the job, my sister's husband died of brain cancer. He was diagnosed the same month we started GeekBrief. He's the guy who convinced us to switch to Mac, and he also encouraged us to do the deal with Mevio rather than trying to make it on our own. We threw everything in a truck, dropped everything off in Dallas, and then headed to the memorial service in LA. Every time we have a meetup where we get to spend time with those of you who watch, we have to look up and say, thanks, Curtis, because we might not be doing this if it weren't for his encouragement. When we started doing the brief full-time, we were working at least 16 hours a day, 6 and sometimes 7 days a week. We had to when we wanted to. At first, it was taking a minimum of 12 hours just to produce the show. On top of the show, there was email promoting the brand and learning about lighting and editing and equipment. On our last road trip, we heard about something called the 10,000 hour rule. The principle is that it takes about 10,000 hours for someone to do something before they really master the technical part of doing it. We did the math and it worked out to be true for us. We hit 10,000 hours of working on GeekBrief about 6 months ago, and after that it was like a total breakthrough. Now it takes about 7 hours to do the show. It doesn't mean we're working less, but it's given us the flexibility to spend time learning new skills that we hope will help us continue to improve how the show looks. I have a little more of the story left. I'll wrap it up on the next brief, but I'm taking Christmas Day off. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. Oh, and one more thing. Some of you asked how you can see the first 2 episodes of GeekBrief. The links are in the show notes for brief 482.
All I ever wanted on my Christmas morning was you. All right.
Where am I? Where am I? I don't know how to get home.